Hi guys, Andrew Davidson here, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like our videos, if you like our content, if you like board games in general, please do us a favor, comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff to help our channel grow. We really appreciate it. A few weeks ago, I did a video on a role-playing game called Kids on Bikes. Today I'm going to be talking about a game that's Kids on Bikes, the Snallygaster situation. So this is Kids on Bikes, the board game. Now, I'm just delineating that right now before we get into the intro. I'm just going to call it Kids on Bikes because the Snallygaster situation, that whole title is just going to drive me insane to try to reference 18 times throughout this video. So, from now on, when I say Kids on Bikes, I'm going to be talking about the board game that we are talking about today. Welcome back, everybody. So, Kids on Bikes, the board game. What is it and who is it for? First of all, I want to talk about my game playing experiences. I play a lot of games. I play a lot of games because I have a YouTube channel about games. But I played a lot of games before I was on YouTube. And if, God forbid, the YouTube channel goes away, I will continue to play a lot of games. So what's the point I'm trying to make here is that I play a lot of games. Now, typically when I play a new game and I'm looking down at it and I play it and I just go, this game sucks. It's not fun. It's not exciting. The theme is dumb. The components are crummy. The game just is not fun. There's no entertainment value to it. Sometimes game designers know that they have kind of a lackluster game, and so they play test it and they realize, yeah, our game is really not that fun. So what they do is instead of scrapping the whole project, is they start to add in a whole bunch of stuff that just is superfluous. That's, well, why don't we come up with a deck of cards that runs this type of thing? Or we could come up with some more components to do this, because they think that adding some complexity and layers to the game, to an already just fundamentally boring game, is going to make it at least somewhat fun or more appealing, when in reality it has the opposite effect. It's a game that's boring, simplistic, and just not fun to play, but it's got all of this stuff, so now it's even more of a pain in your butt because you got to explain all these superfluous rules and mechanisms that don't have anything to do with the theme, and they don't make the game any more fun. Well, the game I'm talking about today is called Kids on Bikes, the Snallygaster situation. It is a board game based on the role-playing game, as I said at the top of the video. This is not a role-playing game, this is a board game. The Kids on Bikes board game is a very interesting beast because it's pretty much the opposite of everything that I've just explained about a game that sucks, and then they add in a whole bunch of stuff to maybe make the game fun, and the game's still not even fun. This is the opposite. The Kids on Bikes board game, I believe the designers started with something that was, simplistic. Well, it is geared for kids. This is a kid game. I'll get that out of the way. It is geared for kids and families, teenagers. But I think their original idea was a lot of fun. As simplistic as the game can be, as cheesy as the artwork can look, and as chintzy as the components are within this board game version, I thought there's a really solid, just the foundation of the game is kind of exciting. In Kids on Bikes, the board game, you are playing a cooperative game, essentially, and there's a bunch of modules of monsters that you can play against. Think of Horrified, but instead of picking a bunch of monsters to play, you just pick one monster, and then you have to go through like level A, level B, level C in order to defeat the monster. And so they recommend the starting monster being the Jersey Devil, which is a demon monster or whatever. It's the introduction easy peasy monster. We set this up and it was like so fun. We were having quite a lot of fun with it until I caught some rules that I just didn't read correctly or didn't. I was like, oh, let me double check this. And it completely ruined the game. Kids on Bikes, the board game, is a huge pass. I don't even know what the game developed. The game developers should have just stopped with what they had. But they almost wanted to think like, oh, well, this is too much of a simplistic family game. So let's add all of these things. You lose the game, at least the first scenario. I'm not going to be playing the rest of the scenario, so we'll just be commenting on the first scenario. You lose the first scenario if you get a Doom track, kind of a Arkham Horror. Like if your Doom track gets to the end, then you lose. And basically everything that you do that you screw up a skill check, Doom goes down. If the monster comes and attacks you, the Doom goes down. That's all fine and good, but they implemented it to where the Doom essentially goes down on, there's a lost kid, which is like the lead person in the game, which was me. On the lost kid's turn, they have to play a card that causes the monster to move. Essentially, the Doom marker is moving once, if not twice, every round, and possibly more. There is, just axiomatically speaking, there is no way for you to win this game. There's no way for you to win. Even if you set up, if you went through the items and picked the best items out of the item deck, if you went through all of the event cards and picked all the best event cards, and you got to start wherever you wanted to in the board, and every person made an optimal move on their turn, there is still no way to beat this dang Doom track that is just snowballing away from you. There's just no way. You could set up this game perfectly. In fact, some of us went online and we were reading some forums, and people like nerfed the game. They changed, or we call it a house rule. They house ruled the game, and they still said we haven't been able to beat this game. This is a really cool game. In fact, the first, I don't know how many rounds we played, 2 or 3 rounds where we were playing it incorrectly, we were having a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and it was challenging. There are challenges in the game as far as the tiered system of beating the monster and trying to avoid where the monster's going to go, and you have to go search through the town. And we were having a lot of fun until some idiot reread some stuff and said, "Whoa, wait, hold on. Every time this symbol appears, the Doom's supposed to move, and then the Doom's..." And then we just stopped and we were like, there's no way for you to win this game. This game, unless if you want to buy a game and get a Sharpie and completely blacken out like a bunch of rules or write in your own rules, this game is not going to be serving you at all. It's just not going to be something that you can at least win. Now, when it comes to cooperative games can't be easy, because if you buy them and you beat them and then you're like, oh, let's try it one more time, and then you beat it again, it's too easy. Those games, which I do have, go on your shelf and they just don't hit the table again. Why? Because they're too easy. So you also don't want a game that's too difficult that you'll never win. I'll cite 2 games, Robinson Crusoe and This War of Mine, that are very, very difficult games to win. But you know what? You know what Robinson Crusoe has and This War of Mine has that this Kids on Bikes board game doesn't have? It has hope. It has hope. You feel like you could have won. You feel like you were doing something. You were making some progress. You you just felt like, man, if we set it up again, I bet you we could do a little better next time. This Kids on Bikes game has none of that. It's like a ticking timer, this Doom track that moves so fast. If you play according to the way that it is meant to be played in the rule book, the way that the designers made the game, it's not going to be any fun at all. You will never win this game. And I'm saying that because I've seen the forums, and I'm not the only one. There are some other people out there that are basically commenting, we played this game 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Can't even beat the opening monster. The Jersey Devil is only the opening monster. There's like 4 others in the box, and they get harder as you play. They get harder as you play. You can't even beat the tutorial. It's just the Doom moves so fast. So what's the game? The game is a cooperative game in which you are playing kids and you're going around the neighborhood, which is the board, trying to do whatever particular mission that you pick to satisfy. Sometimes you have to collect things. Also, one of the characters in the game is considered the lost kid. That was me. And they're hidden on the board, so you have to go and try to search and find the lost kid. That's also part of the prerequisite to winning. It's a fully cooperative game though, but it just doesn't work. You just don't get enough fun out of it and enough gameplay and enough hope out of the game. It just doesn't provide you with any hope of we can do this. We just, guys, we just might be able to do this. So Kids on Bikes, the board game, not really for anybody. So what's the game? It's a cooperative game. We're playing kids in the 80s trying to fight some monsters. Who's it for? Probably not anyone. Not unless if you want to play a game where you have to change so much of the rules. You have to change the foundation of how the game works just so that you have a chance to beat it. And to me, I don't like that. I'm not really a house ruling kind of person in the first place. I have a few exceptions of games where I house rule. I'm sorry. But I do not really enjoy it. I don't like doing it. I like to get a game off the shelf, buy it, take it home, play it the way that it was meant to be played, the way that the designers want you to play, and I want to have fun with it. I don't want to take it home and rip out entire pages of the rulebook and just go, we're not going to play it that way, because it makes the game impossible to win. So that's about all I have to say. I don't have anything good to say about Kids on Bikes. The components are pretty crummy. The artwork is pretty kiddish, which is fine because it is kind of for kids. It's got a little of a, you saw the cover. It's got the spooky feel to it. Actually, here is the Jersey Devil. That's the first monster that you go up against. It's like a winged horse. It's just really not a game that you're going to sit down and enjoy and have fun with, unless if you completely just make up your own rules. Hopped on BGG. Everyone else is saying the exact same thing. Can't win this game. It's unwinnable. This is the Kobayashi Maru, and yes, that's a nerd reference of board games. So, at the end of the day, Kids on Bikes, the board game, can't really get behind it. I wouldn't recommend putting your money involved in it unless if you want to play a game where you make up your own rules, or you make up what you play and what you don't play with. Personally, as for me in my house, I don't like doing that. And so that's everything for this video. This is where I'm going to leave us. Once again, my name is Andrew Davidson. Thank you for watching as per my ability, and I will see each and every single one of you at the next video.